Today we will be going through top 10 Mega Man games according to Nintendo, not including collections. Mega Man 11 was an excellent resurgence for the character, imbuing the tried-and-true classic gameplay with modern touches and new ideas that expand on existing concepts in interesting ways. The underlying action platforming gameplay is just as tight and challenging as you remember, and when combined with the new visuals and extra options for replayability, you've got a game that's every bit as good as those that came before, while surpassing them in some ways. Mega Man 11 is a modern classic, a fitting refresh for a beloved series. Mega Man Zero 2 does a great job of ironing out the wrinkles of its predecessor. With both audio and visual improvements, it also significantly reduces grinding, and provides the same brutal challenge in what feels like a much more fair way. Unlockable forms and EX skills are also added to the mix, which gives the game an additional layer of replayability. It's a sequel done right, and it's no surprise that it's remembered so fondly all these years later. At this point in a series, you should know what to expect, and Mega Man 04 delivers in the same way that other high-numbered Mega Man titles do in other branches of Capcom's franchise. You get more of the same excellent gameplay in this final game, with the addition of an optional easy mode for those who prefer a light jog and gun as opposed to a full-on run and gun, although things were already simplified in 03. There is still a secret hard mode if you want a truly harrowing experience, as well as a plethora of unlocks that are quite difficult to acquire. All in all, this relatively late release in the GBA's life cycle is another fine franchise entry. Mega Man V was the Blue Bomber's first wholly original entry in the Game Boy, with the preceding games being mashups inspired by his NES adventures. Against all odds and exceeding any reasonable expectations, it turns out to be one of the best Mega Man games, period. The difficulty might be a tad low, and the soundtrack only intermittently hits the peaks we've come to expect from the series, but all of that is made up for by an endlessly creative experience, 10 new special weapons, and a whopping 15 main bosses. This might be one of the most overlooked games in the Blue Bombers catalog, but that just means it's primed for rediscovery. If you have any interest at all, you'd be doing yourself a great disservice by passing on Mega Man V. Winding back the clock to Mega Man's NES roots with a potent throwback, Inti Creates and Capcom tapped into our nostalgia beautifully with Mega Man 9, returning the Bombardier Blue to his original 8-bit stylings in the first numbered entry in the original series for 12 years. Simply making it look authentic wouldn't have been enough, though. Fortunately, Inti Creates crafted a tight little run-and-gun platformer worthy of bearing that hallowed digit. Like so many games in Capcom's blue-hued back catalog, Mega Man X2 doesn't really do much in the way of innovation, but there's not really any need to. Mega Man X was a great game, and while it's obviously a bit less original, X2 is a very solid experience that does more of the same really, really well. Mega Man 02 made some drastic changes to the first game's formula to make it more enjoyable, and Mega Man 03 fine-tunes things a little more, but stops short of major changes, a classic example of not messing with something that works. If you enjoyed the previous titles, you will absolutely get a kick out of this one as well, and all the collectibles should keep you entertained. Again, Mega Man 3 was one of the shining jewels in the NES library, a catalog that's certainly not wanting for sparklers. If we're really searching for imperfections, a touch of slowdown, a glitchy weapon and some careless level design arguably takes the shine off this one compared directly to its predecessor. Then again, MM3 added the slide move and rush, the titular character's Robo Good Boy. For our money, arguing between Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3 is much like debating between Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World. They're two sides of the same coin and both utterly essential. Mega Man 2 is the textbook example of a sequel done right, perfectly, in fact. It retains the best features of the first game, tightens up the physics, retools the enemy AI, and adds a slew of new features and challenges. Its front-to-back brilliant soundtrack doesn't hurt either. What else is there to say? It's an absolute all-time classic, one of the finest 8-bit games ever made, and if you only play one Mega Man game, why would you do that? You should probably toss a coin to decide between this or its sequel. Mega Man X is a fantastic game. It retains the charm and pacing of the classic Mega Man series and adds a much appreciated spin of its own. With plenty of hidden items and upgrades, don't forget the super secret one in Armored Armadillo's stage, and a host of fun new weapons to use, Mega Man X is a game worth playing again and again. Later entries in this sub-series might be a bit of a mixed bag, but there's no denying that this first title is a masterpiece.